Hey, playa, have you ever wanted to be the funny person, the one that makes everyone laugh, the one that your crush actually pays attention to? If that's the case, in this video, I'm going to explain how to be so funny that your crush loves you, so stay tuned. For those of you that are new here, my name is Josh, and every single week I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. So if you want to learn and grow, hit the subscribe button and make sure to click on the notification bell. Now, when it comes to being funny, it's about way more than just making someone laugh. Sure, you can tell a funny joke or you could do something silly, but humor is a lot deeper than that, and being able to have good quality humor in front of people where you're not embarrassing yourself is the key. Have you ever noticed that if you hear a person tell a funny joke, you go on to tell other people that you heard a funny joke, but if that person tells a string of funny jokes, you go on to tell other people that that person themselves is funny. And that simply means being funny means being consistent. You're the kind of person that whenever others are around, they know that they're going to have a good time. And that's the exact type of environment you want to create for your crush. But how do you do that? Well, in order to do that, I would say follow these rules. Step 1, make your humor observational. Look at what's going around you. See how people are interacting. See weird things or funny things that people are doing and incorporate that into the type of humor you're trying to build. For example, if your teacher says or does something weird in class or something odd just happens in school that you and your crush can relate to, that's the perfect way to segue into a conversation with them, pointing out the absurdity and the ridiculousness of what just happened. In a situation like that, the humor might be as simple as turning to your crush and then looking around the room and saying, "Are we the only ones that just saw that? Like, did that really just happen?" Allowing you and your crush to kind of recognize that life is weird sometimes, and it's important to acknowledge those things because it helps build a bond between the two of you. And let's just be real here. Weird and awkward things are constantly happening in school, and it's totally fine to poke fun at things that you may say that are mess ups or your crush may do that are mess ups. In fact, if you point out something that your crush does that's maybe a little awkward or weird and poke fun at them for it, you can even flirt with them in that process. You could tease them a little bit, show them that you think it's funny, but you're not there to hound them or make them feel bad. That little type of interaction is going to show them that you have a sense of humor, and that's going to make them open up and feel more comfortable talking to you and interacting with you. The second thing you want to make sure you do more of is include them in on the jokes with you by saying things like, "Oh my God, what should we do in that situation?" Or, "Oh my God, I can't believe we just saw that happen," allows them to feel like it's the two of you against the weird and awkward world that exists. And when your crush starts to hear you speak in that way, they're going to start to feel like you're more of a team than you are against them or separate from them. And there are so many ways to sub-communicate humor to your crush without even having to say anything. Sometimes the easiest way is to just look at them, make eye contact, and raise your eyebrows to show them that you are in a bit of disbelief and you know that they are too, and you both recognize that. That type of humor doesn't have you coming off jumping through hoops trying to get their attention, which is where most people default to. When you like someone, you want to impress them, so you think you have to do things to impress them. But the truth of the matter is sometimes you just need to sit back, relax, and observe and bring your crush in on that process, because now the two of you are recognizing you're synced in your sense of humor. The third point here is an important one because in that process of connecting with your crush and just observing the world around you, you don't want to fall down the rabbit hole of bullying other people. This can be a very easy thing to do, especially if you see a weird kid in class or some kid just has an issue and they're struggling with it. Making them the center target of your humor is not the best route to go. For example, let's say you're in a class with someone that has developmental issues or is struggling to learn, and because of that, maybe they kind of make a bit of a scene or draw more attention to themselves. That's not the type of humor you want to aim for. Instead, the type of humor you really want to aim for are little things that people recognize are silly or weird for themselves. Things that they can reflect back on and go, "Yeah, that was pretty silly of me." Not people who are actually struggling with things. And I get it. It's not always easy finding that thin line between teasing someone for humor and outright bullying them. So where do you draw that distinction? Here's what I would say. If in the process of making that joke, you could bring it up to that person, they recognize that that's what you're joking about and they're okay with it, that's teasing for humor. But if you're making fun of them for something and it makes them feel insecure, it makes them feel bad about themselves, and they don't like that you're doing it, yeah, that's just straight up bullying. And I've seen a lot of people bully other people just to try to impress their crush, to try to look cooler or tougher or smarter than them, just so their crush can go, "Wow, You stand out and that person's a loser. That's not the route you should be taking because it only raises your value while bringing someone else's down. What you essentially want to do is raise your own value while not hurting anyone else's. Plus, I think your crush will respect you a whole lot more seeing that you're someone that's clever and witty rather than someone that's just a straight up jerk to other people. And that sort of leads into tip number 4, which is to remember that you're not a clown there for your crush's amusement. This is something a lot of people struggle with because if they do something silly or weird and they see their crush laughs, they want to do more of it. They may even up the ante by doing something dangerous that might get them hurt or in trouble at school, and that's not the road you want to take. This behavior tends to manifest into what's called the class clown, and that usually takes the role of saying something random in class just to get people to laugh, or doing something awkward and weird and silly in class just to get people's attention on you. And while the feelings behind being the class clown are good in the beginning, people are paying attention to you, your crush may be talking to you, you'll start to notice that you're now their dancing monkey. If you don't go crazier and crazier every time with what you do, they're going to stop paying attention. So you're in a rat race where you're not in control, and your crush certainly doesn't like you for what you're doing. They only like the things that you're doing, and you personally are kind of detached from that equation. So what should you say and what should you do once you have your crush's attention and you want them to see you as someone that's funny? Well, that leads into tip number 5, which is to share personal, funny, and weird stories about things that have happened in your life. If I've learned anything over the years, it's that reflecting on your past, looking back at your blunders and your mishaps and weird things you've gone through can be hilarious stories to tell. So if you're talking to your crush, you want to keep them engaged and you want them to see you as someone that's funny, be observational about what's going on around you, but also reflect on what's going on the inside, what you've experienced, because no one can tell your life funnier than you can. I mean, I've had weird moments where strangers have randomly said things to me on the street, or I've just been in a situation that's so crazy and so insane that no one would ever predict that something like that would happen. But those tend to be the best stories to tell because it gets people hooked, it gets them engaged, it gets them curious about what you did to handle that situation. So the best thing you can really do is reflect on your own experiences and present that in a way that your crush will be engaged in hearing you talk about it. And I'm going to stop you right there if you're thinking, my life is kind of boring, nothing funny has ever happened to me, I'm just pretty much a dull person, because all of us have experienced weird and random things that we found funny ourselves. And I think a big part of it is in how you tell that story to someone that you like. For example, I'm going to link up a video right here of different stories in my life that were just random things that happened. And after I told that story over and over to so many different people, I learned the best way to kind of share it, the funniest way to emphasize different moments of that story. So if you're trying to impress your crush, practice telling your stories, your own life first, to your friends, to people around you, and then when it comes to telling it to your crush, you already have a mastered, funny version to share with them. And look, humor alone isn't going to make your crush instantly fall in love with you. They're going to want to see that you're confident, you're compassionate, you're mindful in what you do, you're caring about others, you're interested in them and their lives as well. All these behaviors together are going to help paint a picture that you are someone that's working towards being your best self. And that is going to be the most impressive thing you can do to gain your crush's interest. I want to give a special shout out to all my patrons and YouTube channel members. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. And if you're someone that wants to talk to me one-on-one through video chat every single month, check out Patreon. That's the best way for you to do it if you want my individualized attention and time to help you with what you're going through. Also, check out the video over here to learn more about how you can be a more attractive person, what it takes to attract your crush and get them to start being more interested in you. All that information is going to be helpful, so check it out, and I'll catch you guys next time. As always, love and peace.